Hello again everyone, welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host Derailious, and today we'll be covering the Hoppity Chocolate Factory update. This is a pretty interesting one in Hypixel Skyblock that includes a new springtime event, a new cookie clicker-like minigame, and 395 rabbits to collect. Not only that, there is more items, more things to explore, and a pretty unique setup for the event as a whole. Without any further ado though, let's launch right into this. Starting off today, there is a new NPC within the cave at the bottom of the mountain in the hub. His name is Hoppity, and he appears as part of the Hoppitys Hunt event every Skyblock year in spring. We'll focus more heavily on the items within his inventory in a moment, but for now you may notice a new icon labeled Chocolate Factory, stating, Hoppity the rabbit needs help finding all of his chocolate friends during the spring season. Meanwhile, he has granted you access to his chocolate factory all year round. In the future, everything is chrome and everything is automated. For this little old factory, that future is now. Clicking on the Chocolate Factory icon, there is a lot of information here, and I will go over all of it, so don't get overwhelmed. Starting within the factory, we can see a chocolate meter. This goes up every second by a certain amount, and as you can see, I currently have it set up to where it goes up by 817.88 per second. Think of this very similar to Cookie Clicker. This also shows you the all-time chocolate that you have gathered, which is pretty neat. And if you click it, your chocolate goes up by a certain amount. When you start off, you're going to want to be clicking at first rather than just letting this passively accumulate, because you won't really have it set up to be a very large number. Starting from the bottom left here, we have Chocolate Factory 1. This is a prestige system. I know it looks like it does a lot, but basically all it does is it shows you your current prestige, the things that you need to get to the next one, which will require 150 million chocolate, and what it'll actually do when you do prestige. So in this case, if I were to prestige from tier 1 to tier 2, I'd reset my factory progress, reset my chocolate, give me a production multiplier of 1.1x, increase the maximum rabbit rarity, which we'll get into in a moment, increase the maximum chocolate from 300 million to 750 million, and also it'll give me some Skyblock XP. To the right of the prestige system, we have the Rabbit Bro, Rabbit Cousin, and Rabbit Granny. These are effectively little guys that allow you to generate chocolate. The base tier Rabbit Bro gives you 1 extra chocolate per level up, so as you can see, I have him at level 82, I get 82 chocolate per second, and it costs me 12,000 chocolate to level him up, and now you can see he gives 83 per second. The cousin is unlocked when you get the previous guy, the bro, to level 20, and he gives you 2 chocolate per level, which is pretty interesting. And as you can see, 43,000 chocolate, I click that, now I get 2 more chocolate per second. If you get him to level 20, then you can get the Rabbit Granny, which is the next tier up. And as you can see, they also have these little titles like Director on them, or Assistant, for example. I don't think these actually do anything, they're just a little way to see how high you've leveled them up. But as you can see, the Granny gives you 5 chocolate per level, which is pretty nice. Below the Rabbit Granny is the Hand-Baked Chocolate upgrade. This effectively allows you to get more chocolate per click. This will start out as 1, but it can only go up to 10. The whole point of this update is to automate the factory. You're not meant to be clicking long term. Moving to the right, the fence is the Rabbit Barn. Your rabbit barn can only hold so many chocolate rabbits. If you try collecting more unique rabbits than your barn can hold, they will be crushed. And as you can see, I have a capacity of 28. If I spend 4,000 chocolate, now it's 30, so on and so forth, I can keep clicking. The Time Tower is unlocked at 5 million total all-time chocolate. This effectively gives you a buff when active. It increases the production rate of your chocolate factory by plus 0.05x for 1 hour, and as you can see, it takes a certain amount of time to charge up. As you can see, it takes 8 total hours, now it's at 7 hours 43 minutes, and when it gets a charge, which by the way it works offline, you will be able to utilize this and gain some bonus chocolate. Everything I've described thus far, all of the cousins and bros and grannies, and also the barn as well as the prestige system is available year-round. But there is a specific part of this system that's only available during the event, which is the Hoppitys Collection and by extension parts of the barn. Basically how this works is that you can find rabbits throughout your gameplay. This only happens when the event is active. At 7 AM, something in chat will state something along the lines of chocolate egg breakfast. At 2 p.m. in game, a chocolate egg lunch will appear, and at 9 p.m. a chocolate egg dinner will appear. These are 3 real-world eggs that will appear around the Skyblock world, and you'll have to hunt them down. If you do hunt them down, you will get a rabbit out of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a brand new rabbit, but it will be one nonetheless. And as you can see, you gain some chocolate if you find a duplicate, which I think is pretty cool. There are a total of 395 rabbits to find, and as you can see, some of the highest tier ones like Dante, Einstein, Galaxy, and King all grant you special bonuses, which in my opinion are really neat. But in order to actually get these rabbits to drop from the eggs that you find throughout the world, you'll need a prestige, which means you need chocolate, which means you need to utilize this system and keep it going. Going back into Hoppity's main menu, we can see some of the rabbits here. None of them are too special, so I'm not going to go over them specifically, but this is how you get started with your collection. You can just pick these guys up. They don't cost too much. I mean, Sage only costs 990k, so it's not too unreasonable. But going back into the factory, there's also a chocolate shop that you can find here. Basically how this works is you can utilize chocolate to buy these items. The Supreme Chocolate Bar requires you to, well, buy 3,000 of them, which means you need to spend 1.5 million times 3,000. Someone else smarter than me will do that math. I know it's easy, but I'm making a video right now and I don't want to do it. You bring 3,000 of these to Carolyn and Scarleton to permanently gain 5 health and 12 cocoa bean fortune. Then there's an egg locator. This can be utilized to find the nearest hidden chocolate rabbit egg. You just right click it, and there you go. It only works during Hoppity's hunt. Next up, we have a bunch of items that are all part of an accessory lineup. Basically, these give you a bonus chance to find a chocolate rabbit that you haven't found yet, and also grant you a certain amount of chocolate per second. The prices here go up pretty high, all the way up to 3 billion, but I don't figure this will be too bad to get long term. Obviously, a lot of this minigame is going to happen offline or while you're on the islands or doing other stuff. All of the chocolate calculations, by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier, do occur when you're offline and also when you're doing other stuff. You don't have to have the menu open in order to get the chocolate. Next up, we have the Dark Cacao Truffle. You can consume it to boost your fortune for 60 minutes. Keep this item in your inventory to increase the bonus up to 30 fortune, at which point the item evolves. I don't have this currently. I have no idea what it does at 30 total fortune, but probably does something cool. There's also the Chocolate Syringe. You can use that cat to upgrade rabbit pets to mythic rarity. Costs you 6 billion total chocolate. And next up, we have Zoro's Cape. This requires you to get Zoro. This is an awesome One Piece reference. My girlfriend would be so happy about this. Gives you strength, ferocity, farming fortune, and farming wisdom. The stats double during Jacob's farming contest. And also you have a 20% chance to obtain an extra medal from contests, costing you 10 billion chocolate. On the bottom left of the chocolate factory, there is a production map here that basically just shows you exactly how everything works. There's also a plus 0.25x buff from using a cookie, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty nice stuff there. It doesn't really actually matter, but I think it's pretty neat. On the bottom right, we have factory milestones. This is pretty interesting. As you keep unlocking more and more chocolate, you can get some pretty cool rabbits out of this, all the way up to Zest Zephyr, with 350 billion all-time chocolate required in order to get it. But as you can see, you can claim it just like any other. It goes directly into your rabbit barn. As you can see here, there's nothing too special about that system, and you can also view them in the collection if you really want to. Once you see in chat something along the lines of a chocolate dinner egg has appeared, you can look around the hub or whatever island you're going to be on, and you can eventually find it. If you click on it, you'll get a new rabbit. There's nothing too special about this system. I figure that a Discord or something like that is going to be made to track these because that just seems like the most logical conclusion, but every time you find a new rabbit, you get a bonus to the amount of chocolate you gain per second, and also a small little multiplier that will add up as you collect more. Heading inside of the factory, you can actually speak to Rabbit Bro, Rabbit Cousin, and Rabbit Granny. They don't say anything too crazy, it's just some funny filler dialogue, but I do think it's pretty neat that you can actually be down here with them and like hang out with them if you really wanted to. I figure that some Skyblock players are lonely enough to actually do that, so if you are one of those people, here you go. In terms of some important things to note, the chocolate factory exists year-round. Hoppity only appears during the springtime, but aside from that, you are able to participate as a whole throughout the entire year. If you want to get rabbits though, and you want to build up that production multiplier, you're going to want to be around for the event as a whole, which does last for a long time. I think it lasts for a total of 31 hours, which is pretty significant, which also makes sense considering that a Skyblock day is 20 minutes. You have 3 months worth of spring. That would add up to around 31 hours. So it's a whole day for you to participate in this event and get some eggs. In terms of the eggs, they spawn literally anywhere from what I understand, not just in the hub. I found some in the dungeon hub. I think players were finding them on other islands as well, so people will probably create a full list in which you can gather and find all of the eggs very easily, and if not, I'll probably make a Discord or something like that to actually track these more easily when the event is active, so everyone can get their rabbits. If you want to get the best rabbits, you're going to need to prestige, which means you need to get chocolate, which means you need to participate in the system. It's kind of just a running circular thing, very similar to Cookie Clicker, although they do state that they want it to be mostly idle. They don't want you to be clicking all the time, which I really understand, and I'm happy that they did it like that, because it really should be something in the background. And it very much is. It's something that you get a lot of chocolate for every time you log on. It's going to incentivize people to play the game and just hop on during springtime and participate in the silly little event. I think they did a great job on it. It's really, really interesting. Good job, admins. As some other little addendums, the eggs that you can find in this event are basically static in that they change every single time they spawn, but they don't change between different lobbies, and also they don't change between different people. So if you find an egg, you can tell everyone in your lobby or the larger Skyblock community where it is, and they can all find it as well. That's more the reason why I said something like a Discord would be useful in this regard. I personally really like it. It allows inexperienced players to get clues from more experienced ones, but if you don't want to do that, you can obviously just tune it out. I actually think this whole event and the whole concept of the chocolate factory is very well thought out. There's even a decent amount of Skyblock XP here as well, 160 in total, 4 sets of 25 each from each prestige, and an extra 60 from the 6 mythic rabbits that you can find. At the end of the day though, my name's Derailious, thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and look to the future fellas, I'll see you then.